Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Art House. Beep, beep, beep. No horn. Stolen again. All right, so we got another Sorcery market update, and I'm going to start with a few announcements, a few different sales off platform. When I say off platform, that means off of eBay. eBay is the major, big auction platform house right now. There's nothing on TCG Player. The company, I think, is in talks with TCG Player, we believe, but we don't have a timeline for when product will be available there. People also ask about grading. We don't know about grading just yet. I believe the company has mentioned that they are talking with the grading companies. So it's not likely to be available immediately for Alpha, it seems. But, if they're in talks, hopefully that'll happen soon. Now that they have product in hand, they can establish that baseline with the grading companies, and we'll see how that manifests. All right, so we're going to start here at the Sorcery Contested Realm community group. And the first barometer of how the market is doing, I think, is to look at growth in the different platforms. So if you look at the Sorcery Contested Realm community Facebook group, we are rapidly closing in on 1,800 members, and we've seen 1,784 members, which is phenomenal. We've seen very rampant growth there. The other place we want to take a look is the Sorcery Contested Realm Marketplace Buy Sell Trade Group, and you can see here we're at 944 members. So we will be at 1,000 soon. That's a big milestone. That group's only been around for a few months, and it was not allowing pre-sale activity. So things are obviously starting to pick up. The Canadians are starting to list their product. That's the first market that started to receive product, and we'll get into that in just a moment. I got to try not to get distracted by the eye candy. So on the Sorcery Contested Realm community page, we had a auction last weekend, and you see a ton of people are posting their cards and their hits. Really big news, really huge. If we go down to, let's see, where is the weekend sale? We had a sale for the Ruler of Thul, by the Frank Frazetta card. Look at this card in foil. Amazing. Look at it glow. Really incredible. I did a video feature on the channel here. Go to the live tab, and you can see I showed about probably 50 to 60 foils. Absolutely stunning. We took our time. We looked at it at various lighting. That's the trick, guys. As you're showing your cards, you got to look at the cards under various lighting angles and see how the rainbow foiling and the different stamping across the card really shines off of that lighting. It looks really, really impressive. All the foils are amazing, even the ordinaries. There's no bad hit on a foil. They all look super incredible. So the Ruler of Thul, that opened at $1. Just to kind of see, how the market would do. Someone suggested that in the Collector Arthouse Discord, and I was like, hey, why not? Let's see what happens. It did have a reserve, which was fairly low and generous, I think, for a first offering of a card that has a pop size of about 250 printed copies. The uniques in foil are about 250 copies. So every unique, there's about 60-some uniques. They're all extremely, extremely rare, which is very unprecedented in other TCGs. How many games do you know have a high-end chase card that only has 250 copies, and 60 plus of those is really wild. So every foil unique that you hit is going to have value. It's going to be a chase card. I think the company knew what they were doing. That's what the modern sensibilities of TCGs is. Like, people want to collect. Even players want their cards to have value. So if they don't care about the foils, they could trade them for non-foils, fill out their decks, and not have to spend a fortune chasing all the non-foil cards, right? So that bid, it opened at $1, closed at $750. So that was a very interesting first data point. And now if we go, before I move on, I actually want to say, in the next couple days, I have a card coming in from Canada. It's expected to be here Friday per the shipping. It's always a little uncertain coming from international, how long it takes to get through customs and actually show up. But that card might be here by the weekend. It's another huge foil card. So I'll showcase that on the channel, and we'll do that auction probably Saturday night. So you want to join the Sorcery Contested Realm community group and the Collector Arthouse Discord. So we'll jump over there really quick and take a look. So if you go to the Collector Arthouse Discord, we're currently at, let me see if this will tell me. I think we had a huge surge in growth here as well. I actually am not sure how to check the member account. That's funny. on desktop. This meme is cracking me up. So I check it on my phone. We're at like 550 or something. So a couple things here. I have a sorcery showcase video. People are showing off like tons of unbelievable hits. We kind of went off on some tangents in conversation recently, but look at these stunning hits that people are pulling and showing all over the page. So it's a ton of fun. People are excited. We got artist proofs coming out. The artists are doing reveals. I got a few on the way that are going to be coming to auction soon. So we do that in the Collector Arthouse Discord here and on the Facebook community group. And then there's an alpha break also that I wanted to notify people of. So I have a case coming in, again, from Canada. It should be here. Shipping says Monday. Maybe if it comes early, we could do this sooner, but likely sometime next week we'll have a break of a case, and I'm selling those by the pack. So just join the Collector Arthouse Discord. You can always find the links in the bottom of my videos if you're interested in that. All right, so let's go back to Facebook, and the last stop here will be the Sorcery Contested Realm Marketplace. So we're at 944 members, again, really closing in on 1,000, and we're seeing some sealed product being listed and sold fairly quickly. A lot of good sales going on, and some single cards. So let's take a look here. Here's an offering for a case and several other periphery items, and then here you go. A few people. I think there's been maybe three or four documented cases of the foil Philosopher Stone, and this person listed for $5,000. He's claiming that the current high offer is $2,000. I happen to know of one private sale that's happened that I'm actually brokering as a middleman service. So that's another service I'm thinking about rolling out to help people out for these high-end transactions, so you could have a secure transaction without any concern or risk beyond the, PayPal goods and services. If you want to make sure the card's legitimate and have the seller send it to me, then I could get it to the buyer and vice versa. I also offer consignment, so these auctions that are coming to the different platforms, the community group and the Discord, I do that through consignment as well as helping out many of the artists with artist proof sales and original paintings and things like that across these platforms. So make sure you definitely sign up to all the groups, link below in the video. So I wanted to show that Philo Stone is really incredible. This is a buy-sell trade. So some things are for sale, some things are being offered for trade, and people are asking what they want. Here's an Erik's Curiosa. So there was one foil Erik's Curiosa that has been pulled as well that we're aware of. So let's now take a look at eBay. And we're going to go, let's go to the actual listings before we go to the sold data. Because there was something that was causing a lot of stir. And, a lot of people, well, look at this. Hang on a second. We have a Philo Stone. Okay, I just want to see if this was a live auction. So it appears it is a buy it now offering 2,500 Canadian. It's a non-foil, so that might be a bit of a reach. We don't expect those to be particularly rare. Certainly not relative to the foils, of course. But here they say it's one of 3,376 copies printed. So still fairly rare. The uniques, the non-foil uniques, the high-end ones might have some value, but there's going to be a large influx of supply of those. So really, it's the foils and the curio cards that are going to be chased. All right, so I just wanted to see if that was an auction and if that was an actual bid on that. There's some interesting cards listed. The one I was looking for, let's actually just search for Philosopher Stone. There was a lot of buzz because... Of course, that's a common term. So, Sorcery, Contested Realm, Philosopher Stone. All right, so here you go. Couple listings. There was one, it's not coming up now. Maybe it was taken down. It was listed for $10,000. And everyone's like, why is this non-foil Philosopher Stone going for $10,000? Well, it's not sold for $10,000. Someone listed at that price. It attracts a lot of attention. It's a smart strategy. I had to buy it now. So in the nascent part of this upstart market where we don't have real sales data just yet, or very limited sales data, and choke supply only from Canada, which is roughly less than 10% of the Kickstarter There's not a lot of supply out there, and there's massive demand, and it's only increasing as people see these foils, as we showcase them. We see how amazing they are. I knew that they would set the market standard and really be above all other games. And for those of you that are seeing the spoilers, please comment below if you think that is true in your opinion. I know a lot of you guys play a lot of different TCGs and collect them. I'd be very curious to see what you think of the Sorcery foils and the Curios relative to other games, the chase cards, and the idea of 60 some foil uniques that only have 250 copies printed. What do you think of that rarity and what that's doing to the market? I'd love to hear your opinions. All right, so 130 point. Let's go back and take a look at the sales data. Yeah, so that listing of 10,000, feeling out the market, hey, 10 grand, make me an offer. Smart, that's what you should do until the market's established. It's a smart strategy. So, it's really hard to earn value of boxes at this point, what the box price should be relative to singles because of that supply and demand imbalance right now. Until we have more supply, until we have some more sales history, we really won't be able to assess that. I've commented across the Discords and in the Facebook my opinion that TCG markets are highly psychological. They're not things that can be readily quantified because it's really, the supply is fairly fixed. We know the averages, we know the pull rates as stated by the company, we know the total print run, so we know the pop size per rarity level and per card type, foil versus non-foil. We don't know that for the Curio cards. There's no data on that. It's fixed supply and demand changes all the time, so that really cannot be derived quantitatively in my opinion. You got to kind of just forecast the demand equation. Will demand increase relative to that fixed supply? Will there be enough demand to absorb it? And will there be increasing demand as the market grows, as awareness grows? I still hear all the time from artists, Ed Bear Jr. out at shows, people come up to him, they say, they've never heard of Sorcery. A lot of the community members, they're going to their LGS. The LGS has never heard of it. People in the community, like other TCGs, like people that are into this, that go play Magic at their stores. A lot of people don't even know about the game yet. And already there's tremendous demand and awareness, and that's only going to increase, as major influencers and channels like Rudy from Alpha Investments and some of the other big ones do more coverage. I think that demand's going to increase, and, card prices are going to be very interesting to see. Pretty wild. All right. So we saw a couple, we're seeing playset listings, which is interesting. We do have the Gen Con tournament coming up in August, and it sounds like other markets like Europe and the US may start packing and shipping towards the end of this month. Maybe that supply will start arriving over the course of July, and then we're quickly into August. So it's going to be a quick turn to get to Gen Con. If people don't have a lot of Kickstarter coming, they won't have the luxury of beta product. They're going to be looking on the secondary market to fill out decks to bring to the tournament and play, and heavily leveraging their pre-con kits if they ordered those too. That's helpful. So I think, there's going to be a lot of demand from the players trying to play in that tournament. It might not be a massive tournament. I think they were capped on the player size, but that's just one element that's affecting things. Here we see some playmats that aren't too crazy price, so that's nice. If you guys want to grab the playmats, those are pretty awesome. Binder there. All right, so now we're getting into some uniques, and I should have had a price conversion calculator. Let me see. Let's see what Canadian is worth these days. Convert CAD to USD. And so $1 Canadian, okay, so 25% difference, it's 75 cents. So we'll keep that in mind. You got to discount 25% if you want to infer the price in USD. So for example, 200 Canadian, that means that this mixed Terra non-foil sold for 150 USD. All right, so that's pretty good sale. You got the Keith era mechanism, 325 CAD, so somewhere in the 200s. That's a pretty high price for a non-foil. I mean, pretty strong, I would say. There's like again, 60-some uniques. It's non-foil. It's the foils that only have 250 copies, so that's really wild. Box prices. So here's a sealed box sold for $500. I've seen case sales for $2,400. I've heard a lot of people in the Collector Arthouse Discord talking about chasing those down, paying for boxes on that order. If you buy it at the case level, you might get it at 6 boxes, $2,400. It's $400 a box, rather than $500 here on eBay. $500 plus is what people are paying for one box. So you get kind of economies of scale a bit there. So again, I have a case coming in, going to be doing a box break, offering packs if people want to buy into that and have some fun on the channel. Minimum of 5 packs, and we'll do it in increments of 5, so 5, 10, 15, etc. All right, so here we go. Here is the foil Erik's Curiosa, 2,100 Canadian. Wow, that is a big sell. So it's the first one that we've sold, or first one that we've seen that has been sold. Wasn't my sale, of the Erik's Curiosa and foil. Look at that beauty. All right, so 2,100 Canadian. That's about what, $1,500 or so USD. Interesting. Wow, that's yeah. So the Frazetta, by comparison, that's, I mean, the Frazetta card sold for half of that at auction. So that's interesting. Curiosa is one of the best cards, probably one of the biggest chases in the set. So that's a real big deal. So I'm not surprised that sold for that amount. Again, I'm aware of a private sale of a foil Philosopher Stone that sold in that neighborhood, I want to say, roughly. So that's another interesting data point. That's not a public sale, so I won't put out the exact price. But you might see that coming through the art house. So keep paying attention to the channel. And I'll show it on camera. All right, so here we go. Wow. So we have some other interesting data. Now, some of these I think are selling quite reasonably when you see some of these other foils. Even like I think people are really sleeping on the exceptional and the elite foils. Those are more rare than people think. They look great. I think people are going to want to play with those cards. They're going to want to, the interesting thing, credit to Dorkalair, another YouTube channel, funny name. He's a great channel too. Go check it out. He's really into collectibles, really nice guy. He's given me a lot of constructive, helpful advice that I appreciate for how to set up my channel and use different software and whatnot. So he made an interesting point in my Discord today that when you look at the rarity breakdown, for a unique, you could only have 1 card in your deck. An elite, 2 cards in your deck. Exceptional, 3 cards, and ordinary, 4 cards. So when you look at the pop size of each of the rarity levels and a number of cards at those rarity levels for the foils, you find that there's roughly, to fill out your deck with the number that you can play in your deck, the numbers work out to roughly the same. So if a player wants to deck out their cards in, it's 250 per foil unique, right? So then what I'm saying here is if you look at the elites, based on the pop size of the elites, if you want to have those in your deck, there's going to be 250 of those, relatively speaking, because you have 2 in your deck. And then the exceptional, 250 if you want to have 3 foils, right? That's the number of people that can get 3 foils. Ordinaries, 250, right? They're roughly comparable based on the pop sizes. So if players are interested, we don't know that for a fact yet. Some might want to play with full art, which is the backside of the foils. Some might want to deck out their cards in foils. Others are just going to play as cheap as possible in non-foils or even beta cards. But there's going to be some percentage of that player market that is going to want those foils. So it's not just a collector item, which is very interesting. Unless like the haters say no one's going to play this game and it's just a collectible. That's what all the haters say of every new game. Does anyone even play this game? Of course they do. It's a game. All right, so we got this is an interesting one, the Moon Clan Werewolf. Oh, that's weird how that came up. Let me go back to that. I got to click on the sale link. So this is the one that had an error in the printed on the card, right? It's not a misprint because it's on every card. It's a print file mistake, right? So it says Santiago Caruso. The actual artist of this is Alan Pollock. So that's interesting. I think that's a attractive price. People like to go after these oddities, right? It's a niche market, but people like error cards. We've seen that, in all different types of card games and different card categories. So I'm sure the seller of this probably didn't know that. I'm finding some people hitting me up that are coming from the sports card scene. A lot of people contact me just because of my channel and my different platforms. They reach out, they ask me questions, especially if they just kind of speculated on the Kickstarter and they're really sports cards guys or something like that. They're asking me all types of questions about what are the good cards, what are the chase cards, what do you think the values are, et cetera, et cetera. and I try to help them out as best I can. But they're saying like, what should I look for a curio? I was like, well, go to the Facebook group. You'll see them posted there. There's only 3 that have been discovered. 3 different variants. There was 2 of the 9-card curio, but people might throw stuff up on these different platforms not knowing. Some people have reached out about my consignment service, and it's kind of funny. They don't want to pay the fee for consignment, or and then they go and try to do it on their own, and they're undervaluing themselves. That's the beauty of auctions. Sometimes there's upside. So here you go. A few different deals. We have the body swap, which is a foil that sold for 500 Canadian. That's a pretty strong sale. I think that, if I remember correctly, that's a unique foil. So, I'd say that's probably reasonable in my opinion for both sides, because it's pop 250 and it's a unique, so that's going to be highly desirable. And only 250 people can have master sets in Sorcery Contested Realm. That's insane. Again, like unprecedented, in other games. All right, so it's this Gigu's Dreams. I think that's the same guy that sold the Erik card. So like I say, people aren't educated on what some of the interesting chase cards may be, and they're just throwing them up there. Here you go. Another very attractive, interesting, unique. The Grim Reaper. Vasily Omerleov. Beautiful artwork. So that's a unique spirit, awaits us all. Same seller. Again, sold for 500. So it looks like he's happy at 500 CAD for that, which is a reasonable sale, I'd say, for a unique foil. So yeah, there you go. A lot of price variability. Here you go. With a lot of the play sets, people are spending about $15 on those at the ordinary or exceptional level. $10 for the 4 basic lands. Those are probably players, again, that are trying to fill out their deck to play the game as soon as possible. So that makes sense. $10 to $20, let's say, on average for those. So different approaches. You got the Sorcery Contested Realm community group that I manage, the the SCR Marketplace Buy Sell Trade. You want to go join that if you want to buy sell trade. You also have the SCR Art Market Facebook group, which I run, and definitely join the Sorcery Contested Realm Artist Proofs and Altars. You're going to see me posting pretty frequently as the artists that I represent and work with. They're showing me spoilers kind of the paintings and sketches they're doing on the back of these artist proof cards, and I'm showing those on a community group in the Collector Arthouse Discord and in that artist proof group. So you'll see those auctions coming up fairly soon, and they're starting to be shipped. I got the box break coming up in like a week or so. We'll do a full case probably or close to it of Alpha. It'll be a lot of fun. That's it. There goes the alarm. I'm out, guys. Talk to you soon. Take care.